で、この方の記録は58分55秒。画面来ましたね。
For a couple things. And I'm here today to run Crescent Prism, Chapter 1. But I want to introduce my commentator.
Hello, I'm Sel. You've also seen me around. I do not know this game, but I love indie RPGs, so...
で、エニッパーのカテゴリーで難易度はちょっとわからないんですけど、おそらくイージーしか記録がないんで、イージーを選ばれるんじゃないかなと思います。
We have three difficulties. We have easy, we have normal, and we have hard. And we're going to be doing easy just because normal is pretty evil and hard is just hard. And so we're going to do that. And so time starts in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck.
イージーはやっぱり簡単にできるんで、これで走りますと。で、ノーマル以上の難易度になるとめちゃめちゃ難しいらしいです。グッドラックです。
That was just a small idea. They started getting into making their own indie RPGs, and from there they just essentially built this version and then kind of didn't finish the rest of the story. It technically finishes, I will say that, but there's this whole beginning section that is intended for a second part, but whatever. So we have this first part where we are in some weird place. We don't get introduced to it, and yeah, so this is our fighting mechanics, and so we're going to be using splash more.
もうすごい既視感のある戦闘画面。
I think water and robots don't mix well.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, very easy to just kill those two enemies right there. And then as we walk, we get more robots that knock us down. Like that.
Oh no.
Yep, and so what we get to do here is we're just gonna escape, and so we're gonna press these buttons and we get jump scared by another enemy. But thankfully, still a robot, we can just splash him and dead. So this is kind of like the second chapter, since this is chapter 1. So that's all we'll get to see for this, but we're going to actually get introduced to the actual story that leads up to this. So we just walk to the right here and everything just turns pitch black. And then the music just disappears.
で、ずっと歩いてると真っ暗になって、で、音楽も消えると。
And once we get to here, we get to see this character right here.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so that's that chapter 2 preview. We're going to go 10 years earlier where we actually find out how we even got there. So,
10 years earlier.
Essentially,
10年前。
we're in a dream sequence right now where we are going to learn about our very useful friend that we don't really need.
だから、今いるところにどうやってたどり着いたかっていうところまでを、まあ、ストーリーで体験するっていう流れだし。
And so we have to enter an Aries sign. That's just the fastest one. And so we do that. And then from there, we just skip all this text. We're going to be skipping a lot of text in this game. And so when I run this, usually my fingers just are very tired because I am mashing for at least an hour.
Classic RPG.
Classic RPG. But yeah, we are in
で、テキストは、まあ、全部スキップするんですけど、早送りボタンがあるわけじゃなくて、操作さんが全部ボタン連打してるらしいんですよ。だから今、指がめちゃめちゃ疲れまして。それはそう。
Hide the battle animations and do instant text. That saves a significant amount of time. For context on that, I read that twice.
で、設定でバトルアニメを指標時にして、戦闘にかかる時間を節約します。
And I forgot to do any of that. I had battle animations on. I did not have instant text, and I got a 108. And that was with lots of practice. Last night, I almost got world record by 20 seconds just because I remembered to turn it on. And so it saves a significant amount of time.
I have faith for today.
I have lots of faith. But yeah, here we are. We're going to get the tarot cards here. And then now we're going to leave the house where we are now introduced to the actual chapter, the Crescent Festival.
Was that a giant orange that walked into our house a moment ago?
We'll get into that.
Oh, okay, okay.
We'll get into that. And so now we have a long cutscene of just walking around and just text. There's a really interesting character here who is scared of us for now. We'll get in a proper introduction later into the run, like 7 minutes. But yeah, this is the town. There's not much to say. So James, if you have any updates on the bonus category, if you just have anything to say, now's your time.
I mean, Orange, you glad that we got a character like that?
So glad.
So glad. All right, and so we are now here at the main area. And so from here, after we gain control, we're gonna go talk to the mayor. This is actually the mayor. And so we're gonna sort through his stuff, as the box says, stuff. And we're gonna be doing our first real battle slash boss of the game. And so this kind of introduces kind of Lunita's fighting
このなんかジャガイモみたいなのが
Once we skip all
市
this
長
stuff,
らしいですね。
of course, we're gonna get into that battle. And the first boss is actually, once it pops out right there, a balloon. And so it's flight, or I think it's flight because of inflate.
で最初のボスが風船と。
I always don't know how to say it. I think it's flight. But very easy. Just 3 attacks and then it flate's dead. And very disappointed that he lost. And so just to grab everyone's attention, he blows himself up. But he's actually a balloon that regenerates. And so he's back, just like that.
A generating balloon, okay.
Yep. Don't worry, we're gonna see a lot more interesting things.
I believe it.
All right, and now we're gonna get introduced to what the Crescent Festival is here. So Astrid, again, is gonna tell us that it's a yearly event that happens where the whole town
クレセン
gathers
トムーン
around and
昔
celebrates just
祭
the
ですかね
moon。and all that.
訳してならば。
Lunita kind of
でこのお
doesn't
祭り
see
の
why we're
会場で
celebrating, and so
まああまりお祭り感ないですけどすごいなんか
if I was a child again, I would be like, why am I here?
出店があるわけでもないし
Yeah. And then the mayor realizes that there is something wrong, and so goes to the storage room, which is where we're going to be going, or the storage basement, I should say. That's what the actual dungeon is called. Yep, there we go. So that's a dog that it ran away and stole something, and so we have to chase him down. And then we're going to go all the way up here because we get introduced to a really important character of the run. This is Count Chroma. It's just a robot face, just walking around, you know? And he wanted to get into the Willow Inn and very much couldn't. And so, yeah. Remember this character. This character becomes a little important at the end of the game. And I guess in like 10 minutes, but...
End of game, more important than 10 minutes
yeah,
now.
exactly. So yeah, there's the storage. The mayor obviously can't get in there, and so Lunita is very much small enough to get inside of the storage room to go chase the pup there. We're gonna crawl through, and then right as this happens, what actually happens is a box blocks the entrance, so now we're technically trapped in here. And so this is where our first dungeon will be. So enter these stairs. Now we're in the storage basement. And I will say, the music in this game is just absolutely wonderful.
Oh, yeah, this is a jam.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then this gets us into random encounters. And so essentially every 15 to 20 steps, we get an encounter. And we're able to just escape it. We're going to be escaping a lot of battles in this game because they just take up so much time to just complete them. And so naturally, as an RPG, you would do these fights, but since we're escaping them, we are
基本的にランダムエンカウントなんですけど15歩から20歩ぐらい
You'll see it very much towards the end. We are
歩いたら外炎化しちゃうらし
it's
い
going to get really intense.
結構炎化率高いですね
First couple bosses were going to be completely fine.
で基本的には逃げ
We'll
る
be going to the first boss here. Here we go. And then we're gonna go in here, and then we're gonna follow that mop and bucket right here. Just like that, and then we're gonna see washing machines, and there's a particularly large one here too. And so we're gonna try to interact with it, and so we're gonna grab soap that's in this box that's labeled soap, and then talk to this washing machine. And that's when we get introduced to the washing machine boss. I actually don't know the name of the washing machine. I'm gonna be so honest.
Are those oven mitts?
Yeah. Laundro, that's his name.
洗濯機
This is where we
洗
get
濯機
introduced
と
to an attack that Lunita has called, I think it's called like Stardust, which essentially just makes it so that it deals more damage while the Laundro is closed. And so this introduces us to the concept of magic. Actually, did not do magic there. Oops. And that will allow us to just use anything that's very powerful. And so once we get more members in our team, we will be using a lot of magic to defeat these bosses. So, but again, we defeated the Laundro, and this is when we look up and see another moon. And so with that, we get introduced to a couple more useful things here. So once we skip the text.
洗濯機なんですかねコインランドリーみたいなあれなんじゃ
Go. We learned
うん、
splash.
どうなんでしょうね。
And so splash is another
ドラム好きなのか
power
もしれ
move
な
we
い。
have. And so with that, we have essentially the two main magic attacks that we use for the run. And so with that, we're going to go into this thing you saw me touch. It essentially restores all of your MP and health. And that's very useful for obvious reasons. This game is very generous in terms of like, hey, I know you might be underleveled. Here's this. So,
I appreciate devs who do that.
yep, exactly. But we're going to be going to the actual boss of this dungeon. And so, James, if you have anything to read, go ahead.
All right, so I have a $100 donation from Sergeant M, the dev of Crescent Prism. They say,
今宝箱全部スルーして、ああ、でも拾った。でも金ピカだな。
rest of the run.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Another encounter. Go, keep going.
めっちゃエンカレしたか。
How are we doing on that incentive?
So far, we're still at 342 out of 500, but we still got plenty of time to get it in. So, folks, you know, if you'd like to see a little more of this great, fantastic game, very charming, send in your donations. $5, don't take much. Bring it on down.
Awesome. So now that we are in this boss, I should introduce this thing that I kind of should have mentioned at the beginning, but I'll mention it now since we are at our first boss. And it's that we can save whenever we want. And that's really useful because when we are in the later parts of the game, what will happen is
ボスレベル3って書いてあったけど、今はレベル2ですね。
I don't
す
know how true it
ごい。
is, but at least on my laptop, this game crashes randomly.
Oh,
And that's not good.
戦力的に問題ないかどうかっていうのがこれで分かるのは結構ね、優しいですよね。
But I can't say anything. That's why I will be constantly saving. And so, with that out of the way, we got introduced to a mysterious stone that is purple. And so that also becomes very important to the lore. But while we were kind of just contemplating that, there's the pup. There's also a cave with eyes and bones, and there's the first boss of this dungeon, or I guess in the game. And this is Scorpion.
that would explain the match strapped to its tail. I was about to ask.
スコーチピオン。スコ
So yeah, this fight is kind of similar to what we already do, just mash stuff, but we get introduced to the pup. And so the pup is now on our team. So this is when I get to introduce two mechanics. First off, for Lunita, Astral Advance, which advances the moon cycles, which is the mechanic in this game. And so certain enemies and bosses have specific abilities to essentially like become more powerful or just become more weak, depending on the moon cycle that's currently active. And so we kind of have to be very aware of that, especially in late game. And then I did an attack or an ability with the pup, which is called Howl, which raises our attack. And that's something we use every single battle we do. because it helps us a lot. But now that Scorpion's defeated, we get introduced to the Putty Pup, and also we found the summoning rod that we were looking for. We're gonna get a screen here. Oh, I'm automatically pressed A. Yeah. So that menu, you could input text. You can't delete any of the letters, and so you're automatically gonna have Maru.
Maru wa.
You add 2 extra letters, and that's it. That's the one thing, but we have Maru now, and Maru is again made out of putty, and so it can stretch. And so with that, we're able to just climb through these gaps that we normally wouldn't be able to just get across.
名前になんか意味があったわけじゃなくて、こう連打してたら押しちゃったらしい。A って。
Maru will learn so many other things that will help us just get through the terrain that is just not built for us. Pressing switches, and then essentially our goal now is just get out of the dungeon. We found the summoning rod, which is why we were even in here. We found a mysterious stone. Well, there's something important with that that's coming soon. But yeah, we're just trying to escape, go back to the mayor, give the summoning rod back, make sure that the chaos that ensued, that the summoning rod was gone the day of the festival. We're okay, everything's okay, and we are continuing to do the festival.
It would be very terrible if the festival just didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a very snake eater kind of ladder.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, that should be hopefully my last encounter in this dungeon at least. All right. Yep, there we go. So, once we are out, we try to escape, and then Flate has something else to say to us before we leave, and it's essentially just a kind of more motivational thing of you got this, whatever you get thrown into, you will be able to get through it, all that. And then we get to go back to the town center where, Count Chroma. Wonder what Count Chroma wants. The mysterious stone. Okay, so we're gonna give it to him. Let's see what happens. That voice talked to us, and so we don't give the stone to him. And so we are like, no, let's not give the stone. And Count Chroma does not find that as an acceptable answer, asks again, and we say no again, and turns evil and wants to kill us.
あ、これオープニングで見たやつだ。オープニングっていうか、さっき見たやつだ。この顔は。
Astrid, who Count Chroma is scared of, Count Chroma runs away because Astrid is actively looking for Lunita. And so Count Chroma just runs away back to wherever he resides. And so now we've learned that Count Chroma is not a good character in this game. So
he looks so trustworthy. I feel betrayed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, now we get more of lore. This whole 5 minutes is just lore. And so here we are in Chroma's lair, essentially, where all the robots that we saw at the beginning of the game, actually, are helping out Chroma to defeat just anyone that are in their way to destroy the world. Because I don't know if it gets mentioned here. I'm going to actually hold off on what I'm going to say. Okay, I don't think... Yeah. Oh, no, there. Okay, so there are 6 stones, and essentially we have the final one to just cause absolute chaos. And so that's why Chroma really wanted that and got really mad when we said no. But we don't have to worry about that. We're gonna have to deal with a lot of side stuff now. We're gonna deal with the side story of this game now. So we're gonna go up here. We're gonna go straight up over here. We're gonna enter the Orange Bell, where we talk to the mayor once again, because he has to return a library book. And so once we return that library book over here, we're gonna be able to buy some equipment that will help us become a little bit more stronger, especially since we are now getting to the point of the game where it expects you to be at a higher level than what we will be at. And so having as much
市
help
長が
to defeat these
図書館
enemies,
管
which
理
is
してる
bosses,
ん
will
で
help.
本を
So
返
go
し
back
てあ
to
げる
Bell.
となんか強い武器
Come
が
to
買えるようになるみたい
main
な。
by a fine
そう
robe, a woolen scarf, and a knit cap. And so then from there, we're gonna go to equip. And thankfully, this game has a really useful optimized setting, and so I don't have to do
で
anything.
上質なローブ、ウールのスカーフ、ニットキャップ。
Love that.
And then now we're gonna go into the Willow Inn where we meet Rain, which is Astrid's sister. And so, skipping some text, essentially, Rain is here just to visit for the festival, as many people do for real life festivals. And so that's when Astrid sees Rain, and then very excited to see both Astrid but also Lunita. This is actually the first time they both meet. And so we get this little interaction that's really awesome. And then now we're gonna heal, just because we did just get out of a dungeon. I'm gonna save the game here. And then now we're gonna be totally not gonna get a surprise that's coming real soon. Nothing's gonna go wrong in the next 5 minutes.
Nothing could go wrong in an RPG ever.
Exactly. So yeah, now that Rain is just talking to Astrid, talking about things, we get a introduction here of the professor. And the professor is essentially saying, hey, something is wrong. The summoning rod is almost like it's doing something. And so we walk out and someone else comes and says that the summoning rod is gone. And so we're like, what do we do? Because we just found that. Why is it gone again? And that's when we get introduced to kind of the actual side story introduction here. We hear a voice from somewhere, and we get introduced to this character. Actually, it's a trio. Actually, no, it's actually a squad. The dwarf is just a little behind. After we skip some of this text, there we go. Hello.
で4番目が遅れてやってくると。
We have the person in red is, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. There's 4 of them. I know the top one is
サンダウンスカット、
the green one is
スクワッ
Cleeg. Fluoros is the one in yellow, and the red one I think was Nova.
That matches what I saw.
Yeah. So we're like, we just gotta find them. Little small note. See that duck?
Duck. Quack.
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 I saw that when I was practicing. I'm like, ooh, I gotta mention that.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, we are now in Mycon Valley, and this is where this is technically a dungeon, but like, yeah, we're gonna do a lot of things in here. We're gonna kind of learn a ability here soon, which is where we bounce up here. And so we're just gonna be trying to get to where the Sundown Squad is. And so once we do that, we will be continuing the story. But that's a good time to mention that, yes, we have that bonus incentive to do a category called Sundown at Midnight, which is actually, oops, I was running into a wall, which is actually the bonus category. It's a side chapter to what happens later in the story. And so I personally find it really fun. And the boss is a really difficult boss, but you get to fight as these 3. And so it's an interesting way of just viewing the game that isn't from Lunita's point of view. And so if you want to see that story, just me do it, get your donations in. Anything helps, $5, anything you can contribute.
How are we doing on that, by the way, James?
We've had a few donations come in, so right now we are sitting at $402 out of 500, so less than 100 away. Like I said, just $5, anything helps. Like they said, you do want to see this side content.
Awesome. Do you have any of those donations you want to read?
Absolutely. We have $20 from Aspen and Frey. Says, so happy to see you running Crescent Prism ad. Click, click, click. Love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We have $40 from Toro Knight says, thank you, Limit Break, from a wonderful time.
目標金額もだと100ドル
Thank
弱
you, thank you,
とかってとこですね。
We also have $20 from Juniper Theory says, donating $10 for every time I got boned during a deep sleep.
寄付お願いってこう
Donation goes to the Crescent Prism incentive because
言ってますけ
I
ど、
love indie games.
ちょっとギリギリかなーって感じですね。
$5 from Lady Ariana says, Hi, Ed. You're doing amazing and totally rocking this run. This game looks so cute and fun to play. Fingers crossed for no crashing. You're awesome. Good luck on the rest of the run.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Well, yeah, we got introduced to Amos. Amos is now a part of our team, at least for a bit, just briefly. But we're gonna go into this area where we find the bouncer, which the name describes it perfectly. It bounces, and so we're gonna be going to try to talk to the bouncer because we need to kind of see what the deal is. And we get essentially trapped. We fall down into this cave, which is now essentially pitch black, but we have some sight. So once we revive our characters,
犬がぺっちゃんこに。
That was a hard fall.
yeah, just the pup was completely squished. All right. And we're just going to be going to where the bouncer went. So we're just going to follow this path up here. We're actually going to open this chest just because it has another useful thing for us. And then we're going to skip these battles as much as we can. I guess I forgot to mention about the
本当ボ
battles.
ス以
There's
外
always a chance
戦
that you
闘して
don't
ないんですよ
escape.
ね。
And, I don't know how that is programmed. It's
逃げるの失敗して
random,
ちょっとダメージ受けることある
but I also
ある
think
んですけ
that
ど、
you
それだけです。
escape at
も
least
う逃げ
within
る
the
一
third
択。
one. And so it isn't truly random, but I haven't done any of the like math to figure out how that works. So, but this is the bouncer. We're gonna do kind of the same thing, just mash through Lunita and Amos' stuff, and then have the putty ability. And then this is where we start healing our characters, because again, under-leveled. And then just mash through this, and then once we get into the next cycle here, we'll change colors. Ooh, okay. I know what to do here. Heal. You're gonna, since now we are on ice, you are gonna be flamed.
危ねえ。
Okay, that's fine.
Ah!
I can make this work. Okay. That's completely fine. Fire
こ
shot.
れ大丈夫？
This that means I would just have to be more careful. Just like that. Freeze, okay.
やられちゃっても復活させない。
And then thankfully Amos does also have a first aid, so we're gonna do
まあ多分
that.
そんな余裕ないんでしょうね。
Okay, now it turns red. I'm gonna do another first aid here. And yeah, just really hoping I don't lose this fight because this is pretty early on. If you do lose a fight, you have to start from the latest save, which is very punishing. But this fight, I'm almost done with it.
Don't send your energy to add.
Yes. All right. I have done this fight with one character alive, and so it is possible. It's just really, really terrifying. There we go.
なんとか倒しましたね。これ戦闘で間違った場合、最後のセーブポイントがやり直しらしいで
Now,
す。
again, this is what I said. This is the point of the
で
game.
道中
where
セーブしてる様子はなかっ
it's
たん
really, really
で
intense.
最初からになる可能性があったってことです
The
かね。
bouncer really likes the Putty Pup story, and so now we have learned to bounce, and so now we get to leave this cave. I will most definitely heal now, and save the game. Actually, so that's a really smart thing to do right now.
The savings wise.
And so then now we're just gonna be escaping this area and continuing the quest to find the Sundown Squad, because again, they still stole that summoning rod, and we need that. Skip this fight. But yeah, so what do you think of this game so far?
It looks very good. It's giving me like Earthbound Undertale with a hint of Chrono Trigger, and that's a wonderful combination.
Exactly. All right, there's that. Now we bounce all the way up to where we fell from. And then now we're escaping, and we're gonna just open chest. This is also where we kind of learn more about Amos, just a teensy bit. So yeah, go here. And then we're gonna
体が伸びてるんかと思ったら顔が伸びてんだな、こ
like, don't
の
need
犬。
to do this, but there's two chests that one of them has money, and we need money specifically, and also one of them has an antidote which cures all effects, which we also
そうか、どう
really
だ
need
ない
that
もん
one
な。
in certain cases. I saw a new one, and it really threw me off.
いや、ワン
which
チャン、ワン
made
チ
one of the characters
ャ
sleep,
ン、
and I have never
ダ
seen
ックス
that
フンド
when I
が
was
こう、
like,
ギュッとこう縮まってる状態で歩いてんのかなと思ったんだけど、
yeah, now we're gonna be just
違う
talking
みた
through
いで
this
すね。
puzzle here. Gonna do that, go all the way down here, press that switch. Just gonna be an encounter at some point. Yep, there we go.
Oh, those logs look so sad.
Yeah.
Logs, why are you so
三
sad?
段
Are
スカ
you
ッ
sad
ト
because there's no
の、
donations to Nami?
アモス君は一旦離脱と。
We need to get those donations to make them happy.
Get your donations in chat. Make the enemies happier.
Yep.
I mean, I do have one donation for you, might make you slightly happy.
Go ahead.
Sure.
We have $50 from Special Agent Abe, who was the composer for this game. And he says, I was the composer for this one. Thanks for the fun run, and thanks for showcasing our game.
Yeah, of course. No. Again, I found this game, funnily enough, when I was looking for submissions for the Sears Limit Break, and I was like, what do I submit? And so I was like looking through speedrun.com, and I saw, okay,
大丈夫か、大丈夫
one
か。
of- okay.
あー、やばい。ちょっと待って
You're
待って待って、
very
危ない。
good,
あ
actually. Wow. So, okay, we see the game over screen. Okay.
あ
Ooh, wow, that's fun.
これどっからなるん
Very fun,
だ。
actually. We're probably after. Okay. More time to get your donations in.
Indeed.
So that's what happens when you game.
これだいぶ戻されたぞ。
That was really evil. That doesn't happen normally.
You know, normally I love garlic, but that was very mean garlic. I might be rethinking my stance a little bit.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think you should
yeah,
go
man.
into guard just to make us suffer for this.
Good point. Good point.
But now you get a taste on
あ、
why.
さっきのムチムチの倒す。
And so. good
倒した後まで
thing
戻っちゃった
it
と。
was here and not anywhere like further. So, but we're
ま
almost done
あ、
with
まあ、ジリ
thankfully.
大丈夫か。
This is essentially the like stuff before we actually get to the festival itself, and so we'll be seeing the festival, and the festival scene is just so beautiful and so amazing. So I'm excited to get to that point in the run. Okay, an encounter there. All right.
そうか、もう戦闘してないから素早さも低いんで、逃げられないことが
It's a puzzle.
増えてくると、こうやってやられる可能性も上がっちゃうと。
You would have to look for that.
ほぼ戦闘しないからね、そういうこともあるんですね。
We love a good puzzle in our games.
Exactly. But the point I was making before, the enemies absolutely wanted to just ruin my life sometimes, was I found this game on speedrun.com and then got it on itch.io, and so
あ、ハッチやられたやつらだ。
it's as indie as
逃げられない。
but
大丈夫か、これ。
I swear.
あー、また。
Garlic.
And I don't have a
まずいまずいまずい
healer
まずいまずい
myself
まずい
for this. I
まずい。超まずい。
Garlic.
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay.
アップし。
Yeah, no, okay. If they're gonna play that mean, I'm not risking that anymore. But yeah, no, I found it on, and so I downloaded it, played it, and I'm like, this is really fun. And so then I learned the speed
まあ
run.
しばらくね、こんなスリリングな戦闘が続くんだろうなと思います。で、ちょっとしたハプニングがあった直後ではあるんですけど、司会担当時間がこれで僕終わりましたんで、はい、次の司会担当の人にバトンタッチすることになるかなと思います。はい、まだまだRPG リミットブレイク2026続きますので、引き続きお楽しみください。それでは失礼いたします。
Technicalities and all that. And so they were just looking out, waiting for the moon to or the sun to set, and that's when they noticed that we are behind them, and Amos is just right there as well. And so we get to fight these three right here in a battle sequence, and the way this fight works is every moon cycle will give them, or give one of them, a invincibility, and so what we will be doing is we will actually be attacking specifically Floros until he has an invincibility. They also don't really deal that much. This is why I'm not fully worried in this fight. I do have to just be mindful because I have had. It was when I was practicing actually for Preventathon. I had this fight where I was all three of them were still alive, and so all three of them could attack. And right as Floros was about to die, essentially Lunita died.
Oh,
and
no.
that meant I had to do the entire fight as the pup, and that was one of the most terrifying fights I've ever had because I essentially had to pull so many strings to even beat it, and so I did beat it, and I ended with 1 health for Maru. It was really intense.
I believe it.
Oh, here we go, and then I'm gonna do another howl because I realized that we don't have that yet. There we go.
Also, if I saw correctly, we're getting really close on that incentive, chat.
Really?
Keep donating.
Yep. Go, now we can just smash. I always autopilot some of these fights, and I'm like, oh no, you have invincibility. Press escape as fast as I can. Alright, there we go. Nova's defeated, and I think honestly, I was gonna say Floros is probably 1 shot. There we go. So yep, that's that boss defeated. And now that they know that Lunita is very much powerful, we get to get the summoning rod back.
Ooh.
Which, great, that's why we came here. So all 3 of them escape without Amos, and Amos feels really betrayed because of that. Essentially saying that he'll never fit in, all this mean stuff. And so they leave, and you can just see Amos there just very, very sad. And so
ジャパニーズリストリームをご覧の皆様、こんばんは。司会進行変わりまして、ここからはハムカツがお送りいたしま
But
す。
thanks Lunita for helping out.
現在、ジャパニーズリストリームでは RPG リミットブレイク2026の予想をお送りしております。
This is the
現在
beginning
の
of
タイトル
the
は
actual
クレセントプリズ
end
ム
of the
チャ
story.
プター1ということで、
Robots versus Splash 'em. It's not like
視
the
界
one
に
we
入
had
る
at
前
the
に
beginning
ちょっ
where we
と
had a
配信
slash
見てましたけ
more,
ど
which
も、
deals so much more damage.
ちょっとスリリング
Splash
な
still does a
バトルがあ
lot
っ
of
た
damage,
後
but
に
not enough to just fully kill them.
交代ということで視界に入らせ
But
て
we
い
use
ただ
it
き
for
ま
damage.
す。
But just like that, they're
よろ
dead.
しくお願いいたしま
Very
す。
good.
So those two get defeated, but we get introduced to this one.
私も存じ上げないゲームなので、
Very evil, but Astrid
スピードランド
comes at the
.com
perfect time
にサイト
here.
のリンクが貼ってあったの
And
で
this is when we
ゲー
learn
ムの紹
that
介ページ
Astrid
を
is very,
見ながら
very powerful.
見ていたんですけれども、
As you can see, Astrid has
伸
700
縮自在の犬の友達が可愛いなって思いながら見てました。伸縮自在の犬って書いてあるんです。まあ翻訳ですけど。
Very helpful for us, and so we're able to just defeat this fight very
で、なん
easily.
か
just
メ
like
カと
that.
戦ってますね。
And we're done with that, and we get some more story, which we're just going to be going to the festival. That's kind of the summary for that. And so, James, you have any updates?
Well, as of the moment, we are less than $50 away from getting Sundown at Midnight Run. So, come on, anyone out there, you can change the tide of this.
Exactly. We have like 25 minutes left, so we are running out of time. And so, definitely get those donations in. All right. Astrid here says, why is Chroma deciding to attack us now out of all the times? And so, Astrid is very much anxious that something is going to happen during the festival, but we're
これは
we're Lunita. We don't know what's really going on, so we're just going to go to the festival itself, where every
市
character
長
we've
さんって
seen
言ってた
so
の
far
それで
that
したっ
is
け？
not currently, oops, talk to you instead, that we've seen so far is just celebrating.
街が
We get Maru back.
なんかお祭りの話らしいですね。賑やかな感じ。
So we just talked to the pup, we talked to Rain, and then we're going to talk to Astrid and then the professor, and then we'll talk to the mayor to end the sequence. If you want to play this game, this section has so much in it that doing it here, it does not do it justice. There's so much story that's so well made in this section that you definitely should just download this and play it for yourself. Oh, there we go. And then before I talk to the professor, Save. There we go. I have had it crash here. Not consistently, but it has happened twice, and so not risking it again.
Always safe to save.
And then now that we are done talking to the people we need to, it's time to start the festival, where after we grab everyone's attention, of course, Ashid will help out with this, which is fair. Everyone is celebrating, and so once we get everyone's attention, it's time to start the fireworks, which is kind of my break of like where I just can stop mashing, because there's no real text there. But you get to just see how this sequence is just amazing. And then the stone itself is talking to us and essentially saying that they're proud of us. And so we get to do that. But yeah, that's kind of the end of the festival part of it. But we still have that major part of Count Chroma is still out there. And so after the festival, Lunita is obviously very tired, but something happens. And
an ominous sound.
There was a sound, and now the ground shaked.
何かが起きた。
So we're gonna try to go downstairs, but we're like hearing the
なんか
mayor and everyone discussing.
何か落ちて
And
き
so
たみたいな
we
感じ
immediately go
でした
back
ね。
to the bed to pretend like we're sleeping.
ベッドに戻った。
And essentially in these couple of texts, essentially says Looney to just sleep, continue sleeping, don't worry about what's happening, and all that. And so all that, yeah. We're gonna do this next section where Rain comes up as well and says, something is wrong, I will be back. And so it's very vague. So we're gonna go to the stairs again where we get, we are talking to the actual Crystal again, who has a name. I always forget the name, so give me 1 second. I think it gets introduced here. Violet.
Violet. That makes sense.
So Violet has been talking to us the entire game, and essentially tells us to find a place to get to the roof. And so I think conveniently we have a poster that when we take it off, we get access to the roof. I don't know why that's in the room, but you know.
屋根、
whatever.
すごい
And
便
we
利な屋根
get
です
to
ね。
the, Chroma Tower, which is what it's called. And so we get introduced to some robots, and they are very powerful. And so what we do here is we get to see this section. This is actually where the game splits off for that bonus category. So the squad basically betrays Amos here, and Amos wants to just take a different path to just not follow where they are going. And actually the Sundown squad goes into a different area that leads into that bonus, which is again Sundown at midnight, which it's really awesome that they did that. They have like that side stuff so that you can see what actually happens here in the actual story, and then what the squad actually did afterwards. I think that's
ワンちゃんの
really
後
good
ろの尻尾
storytelling.
が可愛いですね。
But again, we will see that if it gets met. Again, last time
Which
we read.
actually, hey James, do you have
仲間
an
が
update
増
on
えた
that?
みたいです。アモス、
You
join
better
the
believe it, because
party.
guess what? We just met that incentive.
Oh,
Thank you everyone for donating.
thank you so much.
And we have, $50 from Wood Elf Smalls that helped us meet it. No comment, but thank you very much.
Thank you,
So much.
James. All right, so more robots. We've dealt with robots already, so we're just gonna defeat them. So now that we are in the Chroma Tower, this is kind of where, like, a lot of really awesome things get introduced and just a lot of funny storytelling, but we'll get into it. These robots realize that they need backup, so they pull out the red version of that robot and it goes invisible, so we just get out of there. And thankfully, we have this really useful room here. This is a puzzle where you can't be seen, but this game has a really awesome thing of if there's a puzzle and you can't solve it enough times, for this one I think it's 5, there's a crescent that will pop up that will let you skip the entire puzzle.
Oh,
Just like that. Don't need to worry about that. And so once we are there, got just some flashing lights, but that's it. There are more intense flashing lights after the final boss. We get to the actual part of the tower where it's just very mechanical and all that, and we get introduced to this enemy, which is a ball and it's a roller. Yep, that's the perfect description for it. And it's like a scorpion, so this enemy can't poison us. And so we're gonna just try to be careful here. Just like that. Again, they still have the same health as the other robots, and so still not much of a threat, but we still have the poison stuff to kind of be aware of. But after we defeat that, Mario gets an idea to just turn into a ball, and we'll just cross these gaps just like that. So, yep, we learned putty roll. And then you can see it flash just because that means we are poisoned right now. So Mario is actively taking damage right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay. We are almost done with this section, and we're gonna have a green crescent to heal ourselves.
And that clears like status effects?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay.
It should. Every single time I've had poison at this point, it did clear it, but it could also just be like time. Again, more investigation that I need to do for this game, because again, I've only learned this game in March, and there needs to be more research for the game. But there's Rain. Very surprised to see Lunita here. Doesn't also know who Amos is, and so they get a proper introduction to each other. And
なんか急に
that
怖い音
door
楽
right
あ、で
there
も
is blocked by 3 key
レイ
cards.
ンが
So
仲間になった
what we're going to be doing is we're going to try to find those key cards, and so we're going to do some side stuff here. Going to go into this room first, where we have to it's kind of puzzly, like you kind of just have to maneuver in the right way. But yeah, we get introduced to some more variants of these
すごい
robots.
なんかタコとヘリコプターみたい
But yeah, gonna roll here. We've seen these chests all around, so
すごい
they usually have good stuff. So this chest
な
coming
芸
up
達者なワンちゃん
item that we need for this section, right here. It's a.
It's a
That's a.
mimic?
Yeah.
あミミックかなって思いました
I think I prefer Mimi.
ちょうど RPG リミットブレイクのキャラクターが
Alright,
マスコットキャ
I
ラ
will
が
say we do have a
mimic
move with
ですけ
rain
ど
called I think it's like water thunder, which essentially
そっくりちゃん
makes
です
any
ね
enemy vulnerable to water, and so that's very useful for us, especially with robots specifically. Okay, evaded 2 of my attacks, great. There we go, just like that, defeated. But I did say it does have a useful item, and it's actually one of the key cards.
Nice.
But yeah, now we're just gonna get out of this area. Very much use all of Maru's abilities here. But you can see all the different variants of robots.
I like the little battery dude.
Yeah. I think my favorite is... I think the battery is one of my favorites. There's another one that I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But we'll definitely encounter it probably, because this room is just walking through a long hallway. So... Again, there's not much to really talk about in this area because we're just walking. So James, go right ahead. Sorry, I was like,
Yeah, you're good, you're good. All right, so while we have our incentive for Crescent Prism, we do have more incentives coming up. We do have Fight the Black Knight for Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. We're at $25 out of $750. So, get in on that if you want to see it. We've also got named Strongest Forge Weapon. And then for after Fire Emblem, we have choose a soundtrack for Ys Memoir Ozenfeld Hana. We've got the arranged soundtrack PC80 X6800, and we also have choose voice acting language, English or Japanese. Fun stuff there. So if you lean in one way or another, speak with your wallet, get it in.
Awesome. A really funny thing happened in that room where we got that key card, and that was the break room for the robots. Oh, I'm not gonna make this cycle. It's really tight. And that robot was like, "Hey, you're not allowed in. I'm not on shift. I don't care." Okay, that's fine.
That's fair, I feel that.
Yeah, no, it's very, very much relatable. I'm gonna be smart here. Actually, I'm gonna heal Mario. So these fights you actually can't skip because you ran into them intentionally or accidentally, like I did. And so we get to just fight them. Thankfully, again, same health as before, and so as long as they stop avoiding attacks, we'll be good. So
There we go.
yep, gonna avoid actually trying to fight them because again, we are very low health, and I need to just talk to one of the green crescents to refill all of our healths. So yeah, this is just a big puzzle where you just have to avoid the enemies and then also activate these switches. I'm not gonna make that. There we go. It should be this. Yeah, and this is just full of timing and making sure you know when to jump and all of that. There we go. Ooh, that was close. There we go, perfect. All right, something opened.
Ooh.
And we see the key card right there. I'm gonna wait this one out, I don't wanna risk it.
Be safe, be smart.
And then that's our final key card. So now we're gonna get out of this area. Not making that. And thankfully, since we fought that, like the only one in this area right here, we don't have to deal with this puzzle and we can just escape after this. But yeah, now we are done with the main elements. Now we have two major bosses. They're kind of back to back, but there's also healing. This is when I'm gonna buy max stuff. There we go. And then I'm also going to equip stuff for Lunita.
パズルを解いてゲットしたのがファイナルキーカードって言ってましたね。
Perfect. So then now that we have the key card, we open this door. And this is where we're gonna see kind of what Astrid was doing. Astrid is here with us, doesn't know about it obviously, but essentially will just destroy those robots specifically.
強い。
And then sees us. And essentially Astrid is like, please take Lunita home. Like, this area is really dangerous. And it becomes so because we get this boss, Tetranome. And so Tetranome is actually a really interesting boss. I need to actually deal with the first one. That's
メトロノームじゃなくて。
and then Howl. Because I need to astral advance in this one. Because in this phase, as you just saw,
あ、この曲好きですね
there。are 4 different phases. There's the attack one,
かわいい。
defense one, magic,
目が
and
キョロ
then
キョロ
where
して
he
ます。
steals stuff, but he's very much defenseless. We want to be in defense or where he's just doing nothing, because if we kind of do it on either magic or just on the where he deals more, there's a high chance of dying, and so I don't want to really deal with that. And so this is just the strat that I've come up with for myself, where it's more consistent to just do this. So yeah, and then we're gonna do an advance, skip through stuff, just like that, and then we're gonna do a water for now. Or some of those.
ちょっと
Sometimes
硬いですよね。
but yeah, as you can see in this phase, he just steals some of our magic, and so we got to be very aware of that.
あ、でも入るようになってきましたね。
It's fine. I will do an attack up soon. There we go.
ドレインとか書いてある。
Just howl,
回復するのか。
and then just mash stuff here. Alright. So yeah, as you can, yeah, this is just fighting and just mashing through stuff. After this fight, we will be fighting Count Chroma, which is the final boss of the game, and it gets really terrifying in that fight because of a lot of reasons. I don't know why I did that, but it's fine. We're almost done, essentially. I'm gonna heal you. Yeah, and then we're at the point of the fight where I can just like kind of fight them, except for when it's in fighting mode, just because it's low health. I just need to just get through this fight. I'm gonna do a smart thing. Amos, you will heal everyone.
なかなか耐久戦ですね、これは。
Just like that. Okay. Amos will heal. Do that. Howl. Okay. Now we get to the part where we won't have magic, so we gotta be a little
回
bit
復
more
して。
smart here. But you shouldn't have much more health left. We've done a lot of damage already.
I just noticed it's
あ、
not
ミス
bar.。
あ、倒した。
Just gotta know.
おお。
But yeah, just like that, defeated. And now we are on Count Chroma. So
あ、逃げた。
oh boy, it gets intense. It's rightful that it is the final boss of the game because it's story-wise, it's the way they tell this story is great. I won't say anything until we get to the boss itself, obviously. However, it has a specific thing that we are going to be avoiding, and I found a method that works consistently to not have it happen. And we'll get into that when we get to that part of the fight. So, say hi to Count Chroma. There he is. So,
He looks so friendly in this form.
yeah, it's I don't know. And then now that Count Chroma sees that we quite literally have everyone here, that's when he pulls out the crystals, turns evil, and will essentially tell, or Violet will tell us to not give the stone to him. He again
なんか怪しいなって思ってたやつが怪しい姿に変わってしまいましたね。あ、なんてこと。あー、犬がぺっちゃんこに。
We are very weak, quote unquote, here, and so it is up to us to fight Count
まあ
Chroma.
犬は
So,
何回もぺっちゃんこになってたか。
so we get to fight Chroma in this, normal
橋に
phase
なったり
here.
してましたもんね。
So, just gonna deal some damage. He does deal not a lot right now, which is
こうしてみるとうさんくさい格好してるな。
he says that we are not capable of fighting him. Yeah. Do this one more time.
Oh,
Ooh.
うん。
Oh no. Oh no. All right, let's just fight him. Oh,
おお、いていていて。
that's not good.
that seems intended? Question mark.
We'll find out.
Okay.
So, our whole team is dead.
だってノット
but
グッド負けちゃっ
Professor
た。
comes
い
at
て
the
て
perfect
て。
time to essentially not only revive us and just give us motivation, but also to kind of force Chroma to not leave the room. So he's going to set down some stuff, but he turns into that big screen we saw at the beginning of the game. And so this is kind of where everything comes full circle, at least for this chapter, of like, oh, we saw that at the beginning, and now we're going to be fighting that thing. And so we get revived. Astra does as much as she can, and so gets knocked down, if I remember correctly. Yep, sets those crystals. And then it's up to us to fight him. And so we learn how this fight works of if we get a full moon, he becomes ultra powerful and will essentially just full kill us. And so we start on new moon, and so I have a certain way of doing this. And so I will kind of focus to get this set up in the right way. So deal some damage like that. We'll have Astral reverse now, and so then that reverses the thing to prevent us from getting full moon. And so what we're going to be doing is just fighting him and making sure that we do not advance into full moon, because again, when we get to full moon, that's when things get really, really scary. All right. So yep, I can reverse one more time, fight, and then I'm gonna, no, I'm gonna start here. Do that, first aid, boom, boom, boom. Just like that. And so then from here it's just mashing for a bit. Kind of the whole premise with this fight, which is the final boss, is that we just kind of mash stuff because we kind of just have to be wary. So I'm gonna actually reverse it in the next one. I should have done that earlier. It's fine. Reverse. There we go. Because then I would have gotten full moon. I should have been paying attention to that. Please don't kill any of my members. Thank you. There we go. Actually, I don't think I can. No, I need one more. Just wanted to make sure in case I could do that. All right. Do that. Ooh, I can't use MP, that's why. Okay, so I gotta just fight through this for a bit.
I believe. Come on, chat. Let's send energy to add.
Yes.
Boss fight.
Alright, so... Alright, I should have something... No, I don't, it's fine. We'll reverse right now if we're able to. Yep, perfect. There we go. Nice.
ナイス、倒した。
Just like that, we defeated the final boss. Flashing lights warning, by the way.
倒したみたいですね。
Really how powerful Astrid is here. So we get blocked off, we can't do anything here, and so it's up to Astrid to defeat Count Chroma. So we enter this fight, but we're just mashing stuff here. And then you hear this really, really kind of like
なんか
bittersweet music, I would say. And so kind of
一応アストリ
indicating that
ッ
we're
ドが
wrapping up the
主人
story
公の
here.
ママ
Astrid gets taken to 1 health
なのかな。
and realizes that can use Violet and use the other crystals against Chroma. And that's how we defeat Chroma. Just like that. This is the flashing lights. There we go. We've defeated Count Chroma. And after we deal with some text here,
倒したみたいです
get
ね。
ready on time. And get ready. I forgot this is the screen. And as it fades. Time.
GG.
Yes. So that has been
GG。
chapter 1 of the story, but we still have that bonus one. So we're gonna have a
完走さ
quick
れま
credit
した。よかっ
sequence
た。
here, but at least for the 80%, what did you think?
That was delightful. I need to play this game now.
And James, what did you think?
I mean, I'm a bit biased because
な
I
んか
actually
一応
know
こ
these
れが
guys,
チャ
but
プター
I
1
think
っていう
wonderful,
ことなんですけれど
fantastic
も、
Yes.
なんか2024年現在本作の新バージョンが開発中ですと、ここをお楽しみにっていうふうにゲームのサイトに書いてありますの
I
で、
just want to take
続
a
きがある
moment
らし
to
いで
remind
す。
folks while we're here. You know, we're doing work for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. The National Alliance on Mental Illness's current work is informed by more than 40 years of inspiring conversation, support, and action that ultimately strengthens the fabric of communities and promotes opportunities to thrive for anyone touched by mental illness. NAMI draws on their past accomplishments, the
なんか
wisdom of
可愛
lived
くて
experience,
結
and
構
current scientific
ストーリーが
understanding
気
of
に
mental
なる
health to
感じ
help
もあり
those
ましたね。
Thank you. I would say set up for
ワンちゃん
the,
の鳴き声が
next
意外と
point.
リアルだったの
Yeah,
に、い
there
つ
we
も
go.
ちょっと聞くたびに
Because this is once I click save here,
ちょっと
this
面
is
白
when
かっ
it
たです
begins.
ね。
So,
ギャップがあって。
I guess while we waiting for the timer to reset, this is again, like I mentioned, the side story of the main story, and so we're going to be actually going through the perspective of the Sundown Squad, and so we can begin this in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Ah.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
こ
Thank
こ
you.
で別カテゴリー
There,
を披露してくれ
again,
るの
this
か
is
な。
where we left off
サンダンア
before
ッ
we
トミッ
entered
ドナイト。
the Chroma Tower. And so instead of actually following where Amos went, we were actually going to be following the squad. And so we go all the way up here where once we go through some text, we're going to see the enemies here, the robots. Oh my gosh, I was blanking. Just try to attack us. And so normally, like, the squad is very powerful and can defeat these 2 robots. And we will. However, one thing about this area is, since this is the kind of like the top area of the tower, we're gonna get ambushed by just a couple robots. And I'm gonna emphasize a couple.
That's more than a couple. Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a lot of robots.
It's a decent number of robots.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
But we hear the ground shake and we fall down.
Oh, there's
and-
a lot of trapdoors in this
There's a lot of
place.
trapdoors. But we get to Sundown at Midnight, Chapter X1. And this is where we're going to be in the main area, or the main dungeon, which is called the Quiet Quarry, I think. Once it loads, it'll tell me. Where we get introduced to a new mechanic in this game, which I really hope when they do release the full version of this game, this is a mechanic they use all over the place. Which is kind of the rail system and exploding doors to open them.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, this is the puzzle section of the game. So, gonna go to the bomb here. Also, the music here is absolutely wonderful. Get that bomb, put it into the cart, and we're gonna be pushing it. Just like that. And again, this is a dungeon. We're gonna encounter enemies. So I've actually had times where I did die here and game over. And so this one I gotta be a little bit more careful with, especially when that happens, when you can't escape. There we go. So yeah, for this one we need to just get 2 bombs. There's one down here. There we go.
Oh, the music's very funky here.
Yes. Oh, let me escape, please. We are doing a speed run. I do not want to have encounters and not letting me escape. I'm gonna touch this because we have lost a decent amount of damage, and that's actually, at least until we get to the actual boss of this dungeon, we don't see one of those again. And so, and there's a couple puzzles in this area, and so we got to be very careful of that. I talk to this guy again. Remember how we skip puzzles here? They play into it here of like, that's just cheating. But yeah, more puzzles here. These rooms I sometimes get confused in just because I sometimes forget the locations of stuff. Thankfully I've been remembering, plus I also did a practice run of this whole game yesterday and surprisingly remembered everything.
Excellent.
Yep. Yep. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna send the cart all the way down to the door over here, all the way in the corner, and essentially enter the next area. And we actually won't be seeing puzzles for every single screen transition here. That was just for the introduction of it, and then for before we get to the boss. And so you'll see that soon. So add one more push here. I'll blow up that door that we don't see. Might get an encounter at some, nope, okay. We're gonna get here definitely. Now we get introduced to the different colored doors. And so we gotta get the red bomb here. We're gonna send this here. Just like that, boom. We're gonna go all the way up here, probably, there we go. Get the green bomb over here. After an encounter, I was expecting that. That one took way longer than I thought. I might be wrong on that whole, it's 15 to 20 steps or something. Might be just straight up random. But yeah, we're gonna take this green one to the green door here, which has the blue bomb, which it has the one we need to advance. And so once we do that, actually, really funny thing, I technically routed this room in a new way. The world record right now actually does this thing going down, doing this whole thing, but you can actually just go to the right and just go from here. You don't have to do all the long stuff. So, yeah.
You love finding new solutions to puzzles.
Mm-hmm. All right. So thankfully, we can do that, and we're able to just skip it. Just like that.
As someone who has made a couple of small puzzle games, I love that, and I hate that.
Oh yeah, and this is, I think, the last one that we're doing. Oh, that's not the right one. There we go. And then we're gonna be doing the boss. So after we send this one, we're gonna actually have to send all of them at once, and so it's gonna line them up for us, thankfully. Why is... Oh, okay. Why are you at 1 health? I think just because you're poisoned. Interesting. So yep, they're gonna line up right there, and then that switch will send all 3 of them, but obviously we can't do that yet. I'm gonna grab this blue bomb, send the green card to where we need it to be. There we go. Perfect, and then we have 1 more left. And this one's all the way to the other side. There we go. All the way down here. And then after this, if I remember correctly, it's going to be a kind of a place to heal, thankfully. And then from there, it's going to be our boss for this area. And so the boss is an interesting boss. Again, well, why are you also at 1 health? Okay, thankfully I was able to skip that. And so The way the boss works is it's based on when you do a cycle change in the moon, and so when you do a cycle change, every single attack he does, or every single time you advance in an attack, so like you do one and then you do the next set of attacks, he increases damage by 10% each time. So it goes from 100, 110, 120, 130 and all that, going up until you're basically just like dead because it gets very powerful. And so that's when you would do a some sort of advance into the moon cycle where it will then reset it to 0 or back to 100. And so that's kind of what makes this fight a little easy, is just it tells you how much damage the boss is dealing. And so that's when you're like, okay, now we just skip or do the advance. But from there, we get to meet this boss, which is, 1 second after it introduces it, there we go, the Rail Ravager, which, again, name perfectly describes it. All right.
Oh, those are some big axes.
Oh yeah. So yep, as you can see here, deals 110 now. We can't do any sort of advance yet because we are still at 120. Once we get to 130 here, as the game will indicate, we will go in here, Astral Invert. There we go. Now he's back to low, or back to dealing less. And so then this is just the whole fight.
You gotta just keep resetting the damage.
We're gonna heal. I don't think I have a healing thing right now. Here we go. We're gonna heal Fleeg, because, yeah. Oh, yeah, perfect. I didn't know if that said 130. I was not looking. Oh, 120, okay. I forgot that I did reset it.
You did, yes.
All right, now we do another heal here. Heal you. Thank you for not killing him. Okay, now we're at 1. Okay, should have done that earlier, it's fine. Just like that. I'm gonna use my Berry Tonic on you. 20, perfect. Smash. Oh. Okay, it's fine. I do have a Life Force Seed, that is helpful. So that means if I do die, if one of them does die, the really good thing is I do have a Life Force Seed which revives them. So at least I have one of those. But I feel like we are also just really close to defeating him.
Hey, you've been doing some good damage, it looks like.
Yeah. It's fine. Oh, we're at 150. Jeez, we have gone up by a lot. It's fine. Hey, there we go. So as long as we skip text here, and this, yeah, we'll see. Just talking more about the story. Get ready on time. And time. And that's actually world record for this category.
Let's go.
GG ですね。
Wow, that
ボーナスラン
went
の
really well. For context,
こちらもビッ
last
ト
night
で
I was off world record by
ビ
20
ット
seconds.
達成につき
This-
披露
today
さ
I
れた
was off
ボー
by
ナス
100,
ラン
which
だ
is
ったんで
fine,
す
but
け
I
れど
have
も
world record in any percent.
三段
I don't
ア
have
ット
world
ミッ
record
ド
for
ナ
this
イト
before this run,
こ
and
ち
now
ら
I have
完
world
走
record, and so I
さ
have
れました
you know,
GG
both
で
categories
す
as world record. But yeah, that has been Crescent Prism. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy. You say you
Oh,
wanna
yeah, it
play
was great, it was great.
You want to do your shout outs first?
Support indie devs, that's my main shout out. Just
Exactly.
go play indie games.
Exactly. You can find me on twitch.tv/ad129sr. I barely stream. I'm gonna be so for real. But you can find me on Blue Sky. I have my Blue Sky is ad129.bluesky.social. And yeah, shout outs to both Sergeant M and Ape for creating this game and giving me the details on the next game. Can't say much about that. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, and yeah, see you around.
All right, thank you, Ad and Sel, for that wonderful
ということ
presentation.
で
of
画面
Present
切り
Prism.
替わりましたね。
Stick around, we've got
こ
plenty
こま
more.
で
I'm hearing we're having a content
お送りし
segment
まし
coming up,
た
and
のが
maybe some sort of takeover soon?
失礼しました。ここまでクレセントプリズム チャプター1をお送りしました。
All right, Tantrum Merch is excited to partner with the
続いてのタイトルは Fire Emblem 創縁の奇跡ということで、今しばらくお待ちください。一旦準備の方にしてまいりますので失礼させていただきます。RPG リミットブレイク、引き続きお楽しみください。では失礼いたします。
$5 from every sale, excluding the Mimi plush, goes directly to charity. Explore the full collection now at tantrummerch.com/RPG Limit Break and help make a difference. Dragon Roast Coffee is a dedicated coffee for gamers and adventurers alike. Their small, passionate team puts their hearts into roasting coffee to order with the mythical heat of dragonfire, infusing a touch of enchantment in every sip. Visit dragonroast.coffee today and pick up our exclusive coffee, Mimi's Loot. An RPG Limit Break tumbler is also available in this exclusive collection. For each item purchased in this collection, Dragon Roast Coffee will donate a portion of the proceeds to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and be sure to enter the promo code RPGLB26 upon checkout to receive a 10% discount on your order. What are you waiting for? Adventure awaits. Have you been enjoying all of this week's RPG speedrunning goodness? Do you wish you could have more of it in your life? Well, I've got great news for you. Join us all year round with our side quests. Every week there is a new stream from RPG Limit Break to showcase amazing runs, talk about new RPGs and speedruns, and in general, have a good time. If you'd like to see our full calendar of events and announcements about the latest RPG Limit Break happenings, join our Discord server using the exclamation mark Discord command in chat, and don't forget to follow our Twitch channel if you haven't done so already. All right, we're going to take a small break here. We're going to throw some Twitch ads. Stick around. We'll be back shortly.